Are you shooting?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Hello, my name is Michael Boyce, and I'm going to be reading from my book, Anderson, which is published by Pedlar Press. Thank you. He goes into the belly, so worked up that he is vibrating. Half Moon Ether Night is buzzing, and the place is packed. The energy's amazing. It's like New Year's Eve, but even more electric and erotic. It's like being in a dream. It's like everybody ate psilocybin, smoked opium, dropped their inhibitions, and dreamt themselves into a Prohibition-era scene in some illegal bar, hidden in the back of somewhere else. Everyone is turned on and high. And just being there makes Anderson feel that way as well. The music's different tonight. It's not the usual blend of strange world music mixed with psychedelic dirges and big fat beats. Instead, Cad Calloway, Jelly Roll Morton, Duke Ellington, and Billie Holiday and Louis Armstrong's Hot Five are being played on an old scratchy gramophone connected to the mixing board, blasting through the house. There are people dancing and lots of them dressed up, of course. And to Anderson, it is as if their costumes are expressing inner secret selves. He sees a poster has been put up by the bar that says, Half Moon Ether Night goes Full Moon Night. He has a picture of a full moon shining over an open field where a saucy-looking girl stands wearing a red, sexy, shiny dress with a black motorcycle jacket unzipped, a black cowboy hat, and a pair of holsters crossed in front of her, pearl-handled silver .45s tucked inside. She's provocative, standing with her legs apart beside a crazy deco souped-up rocket car ship that's Bugatti 57-like. The girl in the poster bears a strong resemblance to Kaylin, and indeed, she has a black cowboy hat on too. But instead of a dress, she wears a red miniskirt and white t-shirt, which he finds even sexier. But she shouldn't be here, right? She was here last week. Where's Bob? Bob is moving through the crowd with a tray. Oh, so they're doing it that way tonight. He watches Kaylin at the bar. It is insanely busy there. Anderson admires her amazing concentration in the midst of all this. He thinks that she looks stunningly attractive, especially moving so fluidly like that. And just as he is thinking this, she looks at him, which makes him wonder if she has some sort of special radar to pick up on thoughts like that. She smiles and waves at him, which he does not expect after last time, and it throws him off a bit. He returns the smile and the wave, a little too enthusiastically, he immediately thinks, which makes him feel a bit like he's a goof. His cool demeanor, tenuous to start with, is fading rapidly. He heads over there, but she turns to deal with everybody jostling for drinks, which deflates him totally. He must have blown it there. But what's he thinking anyway? There is something more important that he has to do. It puzzles him and bothers him that he can be so easily distracted. Besides, he doesn't stand a chance with Kaylin. He's sure that she is only being nice and friendly. And for heaven's sake, he has a case he has to solve, so he steers away from the bar and heads into the crowd. He sees Bob serving drinks. Anderson would like a drink, but he is going to wait. He tries to gesture this to Bob, but he cannot. Bob just looks confused, and Anderson shakes his head. Bob nods and returns his attention to some people handing him some money. Anderson goes closer to the crowd of dancing people, trying to see if he can spot the haunted girl, and right away he does. She is standing near a wooden column by the dance floor. From where he is, it looks as though her eyes are closed. She is swaying to the music. She is dressed up, but he isn't sure as what. She looks vaguely gothic by the way her makeup is, and by the fact that she has on a short black skirt made of see-through lace with a white silky slip underneath and a white camisole on top. There are a lot of people standing near her. He's not sure if she's alone or not, but seeing as he has never seen her hanging out with anybody else, he thinks that it might be her habit to come there on her own. And besides, if she is truly haunted, then how likely would it be for her to come there with a gang? He could be wrong, of course, but it doesn't feel like he is wrong. It doesn't feel like she's the type who would be there with a gang. He is never out with anybody either, but that's because of his vocation. Other people cloud his sensitivity, and he must be sharp and clear if he's to help his clients out. So he has to be alone. He is sort of like a priest in that respect, a detective priest. He keeps his distance so that he can watch her for a bit. Is she beautiful? Is she the kind of girl that people do consider beautiful? He tries to sort that out. He tries to get a fix on her, and it makes him feel conspicuous to stare at her, and a little guilty too. It feels wrong to stare at her like that. Perhaps it's better if he doesn't think about her in that way, assessing her appearance or materiality. It might be necessary to ignore those kinds of things to keep a proper handle on her state of being, which he does do, if he must do, if he's going to help her out. And anyway, it doesn't matter whether other people think that she is beautiful, because he knows he thinks she is. And he knows that it is a dangerous thing to think she is. He ought to keep his distance. He shouldn't get involved with her. But he knows that once he lets her know that he is there, they'll end up going home together. It scares him, but it thrills him too. He can't help himself. He knows he can't resist. He holds back just to look at her and savor the suspension of the moment. The feeling's very powerful. It's like when you're looking down a cliff to the craggy rocks below, and the Atlantic Ocean is breaking dramatically against them, and you get a feeling, irrational but strong, that you want to throw yourself down there. You have to turn away. But the allure of falling is sublime, and the sight is beautiful, so you keep on looking. He has a flash that she will open her eyes and look at him, and everything will change. That will be his fall. He will drop into the great abyss, and he will do so foolishly and happily. It's the only way to save the haunted girl. He has to sacrifice himself. He has to fall into the whirling pools of chaos and give into it, surrender. Of course, it isn't really chaos. It only looks to be that way until you let it take you where it's going. But you have to give in properly. There's a secret way. He's pretty sure that he remembers what it is. He's pretty sure he studied hard enough and done enough of his routines and taught his body how to do it properly. He is excited to find out if he is right. Then, sure enough, just as he expected, she opens her eyes and looks at him. Her expression seems to say she's been expecting him, and that it amuses her to see that she was right about how predictable he is, just like most guys are. The prospect of her thinking this unsettles him, but it also makes him want to prove to her that he is not like most guys. She looks him in the eye, a tiny twinkle, little corner-mouth smile, looks down, and then floats across the floor to where he is. His heart is beating hard enough that he can hear it in his ears, even though the music's blasting in the place. But when she's there in front of him, looking up at him, saying hi to him, she's all that he can hear. It's like a bubble forms around the two of them. She stands behind him, swaying to the music. She stands beside him, swaying to the music. She looks around. She doesn't look at him. He watches her. It feels like they have been together for a long, long time. She's so serene. It's as though she has a secret that she's going to share, but she's waiting for the perfect moment. And she knows he's going to like it when she lets him know. This is what he's reading from her anyway. He doesn't say it. She doesn't say a thing, which is most unusual for her, but her attitude speaks volumes. Should he say something? No, he doesn't think he should. He fears that if he does, then he will bring the moment down. Anything he says will flow from nervousness and reflect that only. So he should just forget about himself. He should throw himself outside of himself, into the atmosphere, into the scene. He has to tune into the way she is. He has to just give in to her, surrender to her way. She is his environment. He has to calm himself and wait. Underneath the surface tension that he feels is a deeper feeling resting there. He goes inside himself to bring it out. It is dreamy, warm, and comfortable, and it's intoxicating too, in a drowsy, sexy kind of way. She is the thing inside of him, ensconced in his desire. If he reaches for her there, then he will find himself there. He slips into the silence and his lust for her, like a cool, dark pool at night, and the deeper in he goes, the more calm comes over him. Then she starts to speak, and like usual, he can't focus on the things that she is saying, but he doesn't even try this time. He treats it like a song, sung in some lost ancient language. The point is not the lyrics, but the melody and its affect. The feeling is the meaning it conveys. He is enthralled by it. It is everything and nothing. It is her mystery. He holds her hand, and she looks into his eyes. She is vulnerable. She looks like she's broken. He falls in love with her right there and then, stupidly, perhaps. Maybe it is instinct that makes him feel the way he does. Then she says to him, "How come you don't say anything?" And it strikes him dumb to hear it. He looks at her, confused, but she has already turned away from him. She keeps her hand in his, but looks into the crowd like she is trying to find someone. He doesn't think he should reply. He figures that it's just the thing that's haunting her saying that to try and throw him off. He can't forget that he is there to help her out, nor can he forget the threat of being haunted too. He's not her boyfriend after all. It might feel that way, but that is just a trick. He has to try and keep his head, but that is difficult to do because he wants her very much. He looks around the room. Everyone looks transformed into otherworldly beings. This kind of freaks him out, so he focuses on her. She is standing closer to him now. He feels the heat from her. His knees feel weak. He should go, but wants to lose himself in her. He tries to stand his ground. The music and the crowd grow less and less distinct. He feels like he is fading out. She puts her hand against its back, underneath his jacket, and his shirt, against his flesh. This surprises him, but he likes the feel of it. Her hand is cool. He is very hot. The contrast of her coolness is a comfort to him. There's a ringing in his ears. The next thing that Anderson knows, they are running down a street. He can't remember getting to that point. Did he black out? He feels happy. Where are they? They are on a residential street. It's lined with trees turning autumn gold and red. Many leaves have fallen everywhere, on the grass, on the sidewalk, and on the street itself that they are running down. Why are they running? She is laughing. She is ahead of him. Is he chasing her? Why can't he remember? He is smiling. His face aches from smiling. He's laughing. His sides ache from laughing. What the hell is going on? He feels really drunk. He's pretty sure that they are heading over to her place. He has a vague idea about where they are. He knows this part of town. He isn't sure of the specific street, but he has walked around this area before. It's on the east side. He lives on the west side, but sometimes there are parties a little north of here in what used to be the fabric district. There are some old warehouses that have been converted into lofts and studios, and a lot of artists live up there. Sometimes late after such a party in the district, he walks home this way. He likes the tree-lined streets. He often feels more comfortable walking through the east side of the city, even though it is a bit more working class, run down and rough, which is like a lot of east sides and a lot of cities, especially those that have a port. He stops running after her. Was he running after her, or was she just running faster than him? In any case, he stops running. She stops running too. She walks up to him, stands there, face to face, breathing hard, takes his hands and looks deeply into his eyes. She doesn't say a thing, but he says to her, "I'm fine." She keeps looking deeply into him. What is she looking for? It makes him frown. She lets go of him, turns around, and walks away, and he is gone.